So the number one need of men is respect. What is respect? It's how you talk to him.
My husband is my king.
What does a disconnected man look like? Because I don't know.
And they also need sex.
A woman that can handle points.
Hello, everyone, and welcome again to Love and Marriage Today. Very excited to be with you again. And just to remind you, if you love our videos and love the content that we're bringing to you, please subscribe, please like, please engage in the comments. We're doing this because we're listening. We're doing this because we want to give you what you're looking for. So to not take any more time, we are here today with our amazing couple, the power couple, marriage therapists themselves, Dr. Bakhe and Nokwanda Dlamini. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
How
Thank
you
you for
feeling?
having
Awesome.
us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my name is Lesedi Masha, and really my role is to engage with the couple, engage with our professionals, make sure I'm listening to what you're looking for, and we get to the bottom of whatever we're talking about.
Yeah.
So today, we want to address something that's often not looked at, often not talked about. And I think this gender in particular feels unseen often. And our topic is what men want.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
What do men want?
Wow, actually. that
Do
is
men
very
know what
interesting.
they want?
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh,
Oh, yes, they do.
okay.
The mistake that we make many a times is, women as emotional beings, as people that are normally in touch with their emotions, they are taught from childhood to express their emotions, is that we believe they've got needs, and because they normally communicate their needs. And for men, they are not taught that much, even the boy child, to express their emotions and their needs. Yet they are human beings and they've got needs and deep-seated needs. And it's very easy for a man to be in a marriage or a relationship, but they disconnect because they feel their needs are not met. It's easy for a man to have money, splash on his wife, but be so unhappy and just check out. So we need to get to the bottom of it. What are men looking for? And they know what they want. And I think that the answer to that is ask them. The mistake that women make many a times is they don't ask.
Yeah.
Many a times it's about women, and many times when we hear women's needs, like, so cute, shame, shame, you deserve to share your needs. But to a man, we're like, toughen up, just toughen up. What if a man says, I want to cry?
Yeah.
Do we encourage that in our society to say, oh, you want to cry, so cry? Do we ever ask them, what is it that you want?
What is
They've got needs.
Yeah.
And I've been shocked as a practitioner that men do have emotional needs too. I've had some men say, my wife doesn't touch and I want to touch. I want to get a hug and she just doesn't show affection. So men have needs.
Men have needs.
Yeah.
You know, when you introduced the topic, the one scenario that came into my mind immediately was, you know how you've heard stories of a man being in a relationship with somebody for the longest time, and then all of a sudden they break up, and on the next month or two they get married.
Yeah. And
You've heard that, eh?
I don't even like you can just see from my expression. Why?
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
He becomes everything.
and he says, I'm happier.
Yes, and he gets
I'm
married, and you're
alive.
like looking at the
And-
pictures,
and-
you're looking at it,
right?
this person isn't
And
happy.
often how it's interpreted is he becomes everything the previous woman wanted
What?
to that woman and then married in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why? What's going on?
Maybe
It
we
goes
don't take
back
care
to
of
what,
it.
what Dr. Dlamini said in the Bayoguti. Maybe you need to ask. Maybe you just need to ask. The simplest thing, just ask. What is it that you're... Because we all enter relationships with expectations. I think we all need to understand that. We enter into relationship with expectations, with certain things that we are looking for. We are in there because there's something that we want. So if we get in there and it's not there and it's not happening, and because, like Dr. Dlamini mentioned, the issue is men have not been socialized to communicate or verbalize or, be in touch with their emotions. So it becomes a bit difficult for even them to then, make the other person aware that actually what I'm looking for, I'm not finding, You'd hear people say when they break up, the words that they got from the man is, it's not you, it's me. It's not you. And actually, he's being for real.
Yeah.
He's being for real. It's not you. It is him.
It's him.
He's not finding what he's looking for.
Yeah.
So
I actually thought is he's not communicating it, but you're saying ask. Now, what if you're asking, but it's not clear what do you want? I think women, and I'm not saying we spend a lot of time, but we, in our friendship circles, growing up, we've learned a lot more how to communicate. And it's not always the best communication.
yes.
We could use better language or better timing, but I generally know how I'm feeling right now, what I'm looking for, what I need from you. But you ask him, what do you
And he's not
want?
clear.
And he's not clear. Or he says everything is perfect.
And sometimes it's not clear because many times male needs are shamed. We can't say what we want as men because we are ashamed. If I say as a man I want respect, it is said you are stereotype, you are backward. How dare you?
You're controlling.
Amandla, you're controlling.
Amandla, yeah.
And whereas the number one need of men is respect. Maybe let me stop there. Let me drop that one. The number one need of men, what men are looking for is respect. Most times when men come through for therapy, what they complain about is she doesn't respect me.
And does respect look different for every man?
Respect doesn't look different often. In general, men, when they talk about it, maybe let's unpack it also. What is respect?
Yes.
It looks the same. Most men say respect is in how you talk to me. I might be wrong, but address me in the right manner. So you find that some wives have become toxic. They shout, he's done wrong. Now she punishes him. Actually, it breaks you as a woman. As you punish him and you tend to be something that you're not created to be. So I'm saying to women, be careful of yourself. And he might be wrong, but when you come in with your disrespect, you make it worse. You make the situation worse. So he might be wrong, but still address him in the right manner. He sees himself as a leader in your home, as the head of the home. So still approach him in that manner. And I know some women are screaming already right now and say, you do everything.
Yeah.
Go for therapy. Go for therapy. Sometimes we're not solving the problems. Hey, but I approach him the right way. He messes up. I still use the right tone, but it's not working. This thing, it won't work.
him.
This podcast, they are wasting our time. Let's look for other intervention. It's not working because for men also, their need is respect. Maybe when he hears it from you as a woman, he will not understand. But when he hears it from me as a guy, and I'm like, Mugai, I've had some men that come for therapy, and their wives have been saying it over and over for years, and they never heard. And I'm like, look, this is what she's saying. And he's like, oh, now that you're saying it.
Now that's, yeah.
But she's been saying it, shouting, and it's been ineffective. So the number one need of men is respect. What is respect? It's how you talk to him. Number two is being recognized. It's being recognized. You don't do nothing financially. You don't involve me. For him, it makes him not feel recognized. It doesn't matter. Even if you earn more, I want to feel recognized as a man. Also, what is respect for a man? It also comes into...
it's about honor also.
It's about honor. It's about honor too.
For me, the picture that I always have is that my husband is my king. Now, how do you...
And not in a cliche way, in the
true sense of he's my king. But now let's go back to, even if maybe we don't have any experience of monarchy or seeing the king or anything of that sort, imagine how a king is treated.
Now you understand.
Then you get it.
You got the
Kwanda,
picture.
you always put me here where I'm like, when will I ever get there?
No, definitely.
Yeah.
That's where you, as a wife, that's where you need to take yourself. Take yourself there. That's the only way you'll understand. Because then, yes, you get a lot of that question. What is respect? What does he mean he wants respect? It means, should I be coming crawling? You will know. You will know.
How do you treat a king? You do like one that does. She brings food to me on a tray. I like that. It says I'm a king.
Even if he says he doesn't want a tray, just bring the tray.
So some guys,
Well,
some guys are like, yeah.
You see
Yeah.
what you just said. Did you hear yourself?
Yeah.
He says.
He doesn't.
He say.
Yeah.
Do you get that part?
He said.
He's the one that you brought in a tray, and he put direction.
Yeah.
You can let go of the tray now, but it's because he has
said.
said it.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed it. I saw you. You missed it. He's the one that has said, no tray, thank you.
Yeah. So how you how do you serve a king? How do you serve a king? I'll go to another one. I know that we live in a time of empowered women, educated, equality, 50-50. But I'll tell you, 50-50 doesn't work. 100-100 works. Which means let's all operate according to our unique wiring. The mistake of equality is that equality is not a higher paradigm. The higher paradigm is equity. It says, let's allow each other to be different. Men need respect, women need love. I'm not looking for love. I'll break it down. I'm looking for respect. Once you've respected me as a man, I feel loved. I'm not looking for you to buy flowers for me. I'm not looking for you to open the door for me. But if you respect me, then I
in
feel
how
loved.
you speak to me,
Yeah.
Yes.
alone,
Yes.
Yeah.
in public,
Yeah.
in how you treat me.
Yeah.
There's something that he also mentioned that also will guide somebody is to understanding what is this respect thing. He said, Gwanda makes or brings food to me on a tray. And I like that.
Listen to those things.
I like it.
They have, you see how we love language. They also have
A love language. They also have a love language.
So, Gwanda, what do men want?
We're still gonna go deeper.
Like, listen, because as much as they
Yeah.
are not so verbal, as much as they are not so open, there are times where you have to be a smart woman.
Yeah.
You need to
Yeah.
catch
You see what?
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
when I said why men can't talk about their needs, is because their needs are shamed. As I said, I like it when she brings food on a tray. Some of the viewers, some ladies turned off. They're like, "We're oppressor."
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we talk about female needs, like going to the movies, yes, you are talking,
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Bakhe.
And
You
buying
are
gifts.
talking.
And buying flowers.
You understand?
Yeah.
We are talking once we talk about our needs. No, we are backward.
Yeah.
So we were talking about also, I wanted to talk about the 50-50 thing. If you say as a woman, we go to work, the both of us, so all of us are cooking. For some men, it comes across as disrespect. Why? It might not be scientific to you. Men, like it or not, most men are still looking for nurturers in women.
Yeah.
He could have gotten married to another man.
And he's not looking for his mother.
He's not looking for his
a
mother.
nurturer.
Yeah, he's looking for another. And also, he's not looking for another man. Not that one. Ogakpata, not that one. He's not looking for another man.
Noted.
He's looking for a queen.
Yeah.
He wants to be a king in a castle.
Yeah.
So the 50-50 thing says we are both kings. And I'm saying, ladies,
Yeah.
it won't work. He's not looking for another man. He's looking for a nurturer, a woman that can handle pots. A man likes that. They might not say it because you're going to shame them. But if you could look into their hearts, they want that. And also how they are brought up, they see themselves as outdoor people. They are hunters. If you tell him, go fix the car, do what, he doesn't have a problem. But if you send him around in the house and say, change the diapers and what you cook today, he feels emasculated. But it's not a problem for him to bath the kids, change diapers if it comes from his heart. He wants you to take a lead in as much as you want him to take a lead when it comes to the yard, taking care of the cars, providing security. If thieves would break into the house today, she expects me to stand up and say, if you want to kill anyone, let it be me. Leave my wife out of it. I'm saying in as much as we could be modernized, there are certain things that would never change. When we say to a man, man up, we mean men up. Why should it be wrong when we say to a woman, woman up?
Yeah.
Their house can't be filthy whilst you are still there as a woman, because some men are offended by that. I heard another man said, I came back from the gym, I sat, I was starved, and my wife was busy minding her nails, and I starved for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, she did nothing, and I was heartbroken. So they've got needs. At times, we test you guys. I come in there, I'm like, let me just see what she's going to do. And she's like, busy on Netflix. And I'm like, okay, I'm not recognized. How many men feel unrecognized in their houses? They've checked out. He's bought you a Ferrari. He's bought you a Mercedes, a BMW, but he's checked out. He's so unhappy. He knows I'm just as good as an ATM in this house.
I think I'm representing the people. But I think my question is, and we touched on something, and I don't know if this is the topic for today, but you touched on he wants you to change the diapers, keep the house clean. What if somebody's feeling like, but I want him to contribute, I want him to help. But we flipped it on its head as well, right? He would love you to help with changing the light bulbs, doing the garden, changing the tires, taking the car to service, right? But he's getting it done.
You'll be shocked. He wouldn't like you to change the tire.
Yes,
He's not
actually funny
expecting.
enough.
He's not expecting.
Yes, actually funny enough, because even, hey, funny enough, what would happen if you are now changing tires? That would actually also contribute to emasculating him.
Yeah.
Funny, hey? Very funny, very tricky.
Humans are complex.
Humans are complex.
But you know what? It's because of the different natures that we are. Because as women, we are emotional beings, and as men, they are physical beings. Yes, the truth is, I would like for him to help around.
And I so want to.
That contributes to my emotional upliftment. And if he is smart about it, he will play along that part, because he knows that if I'm okay emotionally, there's a lot of things that are going to be okay.
Yes.
But it's not the same that he would then want me to, also change tires and what. Not necessarily.
But in as much as Nokwanda, I will chip in to assist, but I still want the woman in her. I still want her to take the lead.
Yes.
I still want to see the natural in her.
Sure.
In as much
It
as
can
we are
be
modern,
tricky, eh?
in as much as we are
Yeah.
modernized, I still want, when we've traveled, we've returned from a trip, I still want her when she comes back, that motherly sense, that wifely sense, something that says, there's nothing to cook. What are we gonna eat? Not us coming back and we are like, and I'm asking, what are we eating? And she's asking me, what are we eating? I still want, if thieves break in, for example, there's a noise, ka.
doesn't even have to worry.
It can't be that. I'm like, what are we going to do? Naturally, I need to jump
Step in.
The man
Yeah.
in me has got to step in.
Yeah.
Same thing with the woman. The woman in her has got to step. So I'm not saying women have got to cook 7 days a week. It's impossible in this time. But don't neglect your wifely and motherly duties. That's what these men are looking for. They are looking for the feminine side. He would have married a man, but he came for you because you've got a feminine side. Your responsibility as a natural is to make your home warm. And men are looking for that. Men, sometimes they go out there to another woman because that woman provides the warmth, and umedem, the woman at home, is not providing that. She's educated, she speaks in English, but home is so cold. Her mom, his mom, provided the warmth. I remember when I grew up, we never had cornflakes that much. We would have umdogwe and stuff, soft porridge. Our moms would wake up. The kitchen would be warm early in the morning. On a Saturday morning, mom is up, there's some soft porridge. We're looking for that as men. Not just for ourselves, for our children. I can't be always waking up and make them, it's just minding her weaves and everything. I'm like, my children are like orphans here.
And I'm going to give 2, I think, possibly silly examples to some, but I think examples of giving my partner what he thinks he wants. Because I'm thinking about practically like, how do we as women up? How do we as women bring that nurturing? How do we start stepping in the gap when you see, the bed is cold? Go switch on the electric blanket. Why must he come into a cold bed? Because he's the man and he must warm it up. Or put the hot water bottle. Create an environment for him that's warm, that's welcoming. He is even looking forward to coming to bed. But just 2 quick examples. When you're traveling, and now you get to the place. I've got a habit where I must unpack the suitcase because I feel like I'm now here. I'm not living out of a suitcase preparing for checkout. But one of the things I do, it's very easy to just focus on self and unpack all my things. I'm ready for this holiday. But I intentionally go into his bag and unpack for him as well, making it a home. Even if it's a home for 2 days, even if it's a home for one night. But I have to make it feel like this is home. You must be able to open the cupboard and my
just get
shirt
you-
is
exactly,
there.
yeah.
I'm not necessarily the most domestic partner, but that's my little way of
It's
being
big.
nurturing.
It's big.
Right? Or driving. I am very much a passenger princess. If I could pass on if I can pass on driving, I will. But being a passenger princess, I need to make sure snacks are ready.
Yes,
I need to
yes.
make sure.
big.
Do you have your playlists? I need to make sure as you're driving, checking in. Are you comfortable? Here's some water. Open the bottle if I must.
yeah.
Not I'm there on my phone for 5 hours minding my own business. This is my chance to catch up on series. And even when I'm catching up on some series, because me, I need to be up to date with what's happening. But even in those moments, I'm making sure that him taking the responsibility of driving us, I am creating an environment of the softer, here are the snacks, what do you need? Do you want to pause, take a walk, So, you're saying a lot of things, but I think as women, there's just so many opportunities
Too many.
to woman up.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now, I want to ask Wanda this, right? From a woman, a professional as well in this human behavior and understanding, and also coming across so many couples in premarital counseling that you offer, even in individual counseling. What are those things, if we had to just list a few that men want? We've talked about respect, and we've actually unpacked respect, which I think is important. Respect needs unpacking.
Yeah.
But what are some of the other things that men are need?
When you talk about need, so
Or
because
want.
that separates. So need and need in a relationship or in a marriage. So with spoken respect, they also need sex. They also need sex. So a lot of times you find that as women, we don't understand that part. Like we feel like, somebody cannot be wanting sex every day. And guess what? They don't want it every day. If it's possible, every hour.
Yeah. Every minute. Or
Every
monthly,
other.
every 2 weeks.
Yes,
Okay, not 2 weeks,
actually
but
not
every
2
day,
weeks.
yeah.
Like when you're married, actually once a whole week passes by and it hasn't happened, you must check.
There's a problem.
There's a problem there. So the next thing that men want when it comes to relationships and women
Sex.
is sex.
Is intimacy and sex the same thing?
Whew. Okay. Nice. Thank you for that question, because actually that will need us to, break it down.
Yeah.
I do think it's different. But we still need to get a man's perspective. I do think it's different because when it comes to sex, remember, men are attracted by what they see. Okay. So from what they see, they can actually get aroused. And depending on the decisions that they make, they may actually go on and actually have sex. And right there, you may find that there might not be any kind of intimacy whatsoever. And we must go back to understanding that intimacy doesn't necessarily mean sex. It doesn't necessarily mean we're in bed. It doesn't necessarily mean there's
Intercourse.
Intercourse.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. How can I forget? Anyway, so intimacy can be holding hands. Intimacy can be hugging. Intimacy can be cuddling. You see. So sex definitely for me does not necessarily mean intimacy. So, and also intimacy requires decision. Intimacy requires it's a higher dimension. It's a higher dimension. So it also goes back to the men being able to be in touch with their emotions themselves, which is most of the time it's something that they need to actually put an effort on. Yeah.
But what we are talking about, we are talking from a woman's perspective.
Yes, that's why
You
you're
need-
in the room.
You need intimacy for sex. We can be
Even men.
totally
Oh,
opposite.
we
Yes,
as in
us
You
as
guys,
women.
you need intimacy for sex. we can be totally opposite sometimes. At times, we just need sex for
Yes.
intimacy. When we have sex, we feel connected.
Okay.
So the intimacy for them comes
The
later.
angles could come. Not to say that intimacy
Men are
in
from
general,
Mars, women are from Venus.
not to say that intimacy in general doesn't work. We want intimacy.
Yeah.
We want the emotional connection. But sometimes we just feel like we want emotional connections. We just want sex.
And
The
what he's talking
physical
and
act.
what he's
Just
talking
that.
about is like it actually applies even in a committed relationship and in marriage. That actually applies also.
Also, I heard like, date night's important, but date night must end with sex. I heard from a couple
They never
that was
misled
going.
you. They never misled
No,
you.
from a couple that was going. I haven't heard it in my therapy yet, but like, my question was, why must it end with sex? And I think it's also what we're touching on. The date night could be intimate and
Intimate.
beautiful, and the woman comes home satisfied. She got a chance to speak to her man, tell her about all her problems, the children, whatever it is. Intimacy, tick for her.
Yes.
But it can't end there because the
For
man,
the
like you're
man
saying,
now.
another need is sex.
Yes.
And also for sex for men, sometimes it comes with the release.
Yeah.
Through ejaculation, there's something released. He's able to bond through sex. So it's a need. So you find that women sometimes they have to be emotionally ready for sex. For men, oftentimes anytime is tea time. I'm talking about in general. That's like 80% of men. There are men, maybe 20%, who have got a lower sex drive. But oftentimes what most men complain about is sex. They say we are
Lack of
starved.
sex, yeah.
We are starved. He'll want it today, he'll want it tomorrow. And it doesn't mean that he is a devil, he's a man. As I said, in an ejaculation of a man, in one shot, which is just a spoonful, is 2 million sperms. And that thing is burning in his loins on a daily basis. He wants to release it.
So before we continue with this list, just to remind everyone, if you've just tuned in or you've been with us for some time, you are on Love and Marriage today. The three of us come to talk to you about what's on our minds, what we're seeing, what we're learning. I'm really here to represent you. And our couple here are here to not only talk about their relationship and their journey, but as marriage therapists. What are you hearing from people that we can talk about today?
Yeah.
So thanks for tuning in. So coming back to what men want, we've talked about respect, we've talked about sex, maybe three more things.
Okay, so maybe we touched a bit on this one, but men also want leadership.
From who? From who's giving
Men want
they
to
want
lead.
to lead.
They want to
Most
lead.
of the time. They want to be given that. I think I've heard this and we've laughed about it. As women, we really laugh about this one where you find that, you'll be discussing, you're a couple, you're discussing, and as a wife, you come up with a brilliant idea, and the man is not feeling the idea. And they go with their own idea. And, actually you find that most of the time the woman is like, that idea, but the man goes ahead with it because it was his idea. And you find that idea doesn't necessarily work out and they turn it around very quick.
Yeah.
They turn it around and they take that idea that the woman came up with
Yeah.
and and he's owned it like that. And the funny part then here is the funny part is that you are advised as the woman not to come back and say, actually that was my idea or I told you so. You just celebrate.
Well done, babe.
Well done.
Proud of you.
At the back of your head, you know, oh my goodness, that was me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are they looking for opportunities to lead? Are we meant to come down so he can lead? Because, some of us in our jobs, leading is on 8
They
hours,
are.
sometimes 12 hours a day. And I must come home, or even during the day, when we're texting each other and there's something that needs to be done, I need to be able to switch that off so that he can lead. This is not the work environment.
They are always looking for an opportunity to lead. You being a leader at work, be a leader at work. Shine, girl. We are proud of you. When you get home, you got to switch the heads. You've got to understand now, I'm a sweetheart, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. But they are always looking for an opportunity to lead. They could attempt to lead. If they see they're not given the steering wheel, they might check out silently.
Silently. And for women, what I usually just advise is that it's a matter of collaboration. Don't look at it in another way. Don't look at it in a competitive way. It's a matter of collaboration. So even if you have something, you have a project, you have an idea for the family, that is, you bring it on the table, because here you're no longer just you. You have somebody that you're walking this journey with. So, and when you bring it on the table, be ready to say, to hear or to, that he's going to want to take up some kind of leadership of that. For some reasons. For instance, I've heard a story of a couple that wanted to change their kitchen, basically renovate their kitchen. Although that took long. Okay, that's another downside of it is I think most of the time as women, when we have an idea, when we're excited about something, we feel like, now, yeah, but we want to do it now.
We do.
And because for us, it holds a certain priority, like we feel like it's up there. For when you bring it to the family, you bring it to your husband, you bring it to a man, obviously most of the time you find that, like for instance, this example that I'm making, it's a kitchen renovation. It's not necessarily like a big thing for the husband. It's not necessarily a big thing for the man. So yes, it's there. He's saying, no, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I'll hire who. And you sit and wait.
Yeah.
A month goes by. Second month goes, 6 months,
1 year.
a whole year. You're like, I am still waiting.
Yeah.
But yes, that is just some of the downfalls. But basically, it's a thing of bringing it home, collaborating. But maybe a smart way to also go about it is also, because you now know each other, go for, your strengths, your weaknesses, both of you. So use that to the benefit of the whole family, to the benefit of us as a couple. When we say we're working on a project, we already know if he's gifted, he's got a strength when it comes to perfection. He takes that lead of excelling and detailing all of that. I take the lead maybe in making sure maybe the start, the start of the whole thing, just to make sure that it is started. And then he comes in with the details, and then we both come into the ending of the whole thing. So also that's just being smart about it.
Let me be quick and add the other ones. Men are also looking for service. They want to be served. For example, for most men, acts of service is their love language. If you cook a dish for them, if you make coffee for them, being served in that nature, it goes a long way. Then number two, also to add another one, I know we've been adding, another one is assistance. If he has a project, you coming in and being thoughtful and saying, I'm going to relieve you in this manner. For example, he has an opening. He's got a launch of his project or his restaurant, whatever he's opening. You saying, I'm going to prepare the muffins. Then you find Mokel. Guys working hard. I've heard another man say to me one time, I've got a certain business. My wife has never set her foot at the premises. Side chick has been there, sees everything. When she gets there, it's like, marketing here. Understand? And madame is busy in the house minding a nail. So sometimes we need the assistance, after you've dreamed. And I don't mean that we shouldn't assist our wives in that manner. I do assist in that manner. She's done projects. I come in, I said, you need assistance here. But I also wanted as a man where she will stand and say, can I relieve you? Can I contribute? And also her being a part of what I'm doing to say, we can do this thing together. Then also another need that men have, we want to see our wives shine. I don't think a sound man wants a dumb wife.
Yeah.
What could kill you as a man is to have a wife who's unproductive.
So you what you're saying is men want women who are also interested in achieving.
A wife who'll make him proud. You know,
Yeah.
some men find themselves cheating and being involved with other women because they have a drive, they have an ambition. You come home, you meet a wife who only talks about her nails. She just wants to buy weaves. She doesn't have a drive. So we want to be stimulated intellectually. So sometimes the need of a man is to have a woman that will soar and become something. Men, for example, will want an Oprah Winfrey. And I know some women are screaming already. They're like, no, some men are intimidated. That's not a real man. But I'm talking about men today. A man will
Find pride.
They find pride. You know, my joy is in her becoming better. When I married her, she wasn't where she is now. She's become better. I've taught her public speaking. My responsibility, as per the Bible, Ephesians chapter 5, verse 27, it says, you will present her before God without spot, without blemish. My responsibility as a man is not just sexual, it's not just to mate, it's to one day present her before the Maker and say, God, I've done my part. I've taken care of this woman. I present her without blemish, pristine, without spot. She's succeeded. She's achieved. A real man is never intimidated when a woman succeeds. When she succeeds, she's my crowd. She's my joy. I want to see her blossom. I want to see her thrive. So sometimes the need of a man is to see a woman, soar in life and become something.
Yeah.
Actually.
Are we sort of done on the list? Because I have a question.
I think we're almost
almost
done.
there.
We're done. Some
Somewhere
of
there.
them.
I mean, if more come up,
Yeah.
you're welcome
Yes,
to jump
of
in.
course.
But we said something in the beginning, Bakhe, and you also touched on
Yeah.
it, Gwanda, was he becomes disconnected.
Yeah.
What does a disconnected man look like? Because I don't know.
You don't want to be there.
I think as women we miss it because you'll ask him, "How are you?" "I'm fine." Is everything's
You
perfect.
don't want to be there.
But you miss it because you tend to think, he's got everything he needs, clearly.
Yeah.
But he's disconnected. And then he ends up what we discussed. When he ends this one, goes into the next one, and things move like a train in Amsterdam.
Yes.
A disconnected man is a man who talks less. I've heard men who say, I don't talk more now because I've spoken and I haven't been heard. He spends less time at home. He'll spend more time outside. Maybe he'll go on to also cheating and say, I found someone who celebrates me and the like. He loses interest. He doesn't have a problem to bring money home, splash money home. He knows I'm just needed for money here at home, but he just disconnects. Another one could pack their bags and they disappear.
They disappear. You've had
There's
they go,
something-
yeah,
they
they
just go.
disappear. They just go. But another one is decision making. I think that's a number one that you should, when you realize that
It's a telltale
he has
sign.
stopped
He stopped
making decisions.
making decisions, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
not
checked
there.
out. You make decisions
not
alone
there.
as a
You are
woman,
making
you become the
decisions and it's like,
superwoman, you
okay.
run around. He's like, okay.
Okay.
As you like.
And some
Whatever
check
you
out sexually. Some check out sexually. They say, I haven't had sex for a whole year. I've heard that during therapy sessions.
And not
where a man
because I'm
says,
cheating,
No, I'm not cheating, but I've just checked
But
out.
because
When I look at you, you're such an iron woman, an immovable woman, emotionless someone. I've checked out.
yeah.
And what do you do? How do we bring it back? How
She's
let's
the
say
best to
there's somebody
answer.
sitting
No, go
here
on.
today and
Yeah.
the things you're saying, and she's like, tick, tick, he is disconnected.
No, therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy. And as a man, he might even need, like vigorous work, because you find that with some men, even when it comes to therapy, they're still not willing. They're still not ready, so they might also need that patience. Others, they've given up. It's a thing of, what's the point?
Yeah.
So even when you are attending therapy, you need to spend time there. Spend time. And it's unfortunate. I'm glad that we are starting this culture of having the real men's conference. It's unfortunate that
Yeah,
there is
that's
not
it.
so much platforms.
True.
It's on the 20,
29th,
29th.
29th of
June.
June.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that could also, I feel like that could also be one tool that could be very useful. Yeah.
So you spoke about how do you get him back. Number one, give him his seat, give him his throne again.
Literally.
Let go of his throne. Go back to him, talk to him. Sometimes we shut men out. Talk to him, be vulnerable with him to say, I think,
Mncenge.
yeah, umncenge, siyafuna ukuncema.
Yes.
Siyafuna ukuncema
Can we
nathi.
forget that?
Is that a need?
Beg him. We want to be begged sometimes.
You know, he said it's also, sorry.
Yeah,
love.
it's okay, son.
It's also a thing of, guys, we are Africans.
Yeah.
We are Africans. We cannot run away from that one. I know probably this is reaching international, global,
Yes.
but I don't know. Maybe they can relate. Maybe they won't relate. But an African man, an African man wants to be ngengwad, if you understand what I'm
begged.
saying.
To
To
be
be
begged,
begged. And begging sometimes, actually now, for us women, it's becoming difficult
Yeah.
because we've been taught independence. We've been taught you don't need a man. You can be all that and all this
You're
without
busy
a man.
also.
You're busy also. You're human also. Why don't you be ngengad?
Yeah.
Why are you not being begged? But when it comes to a situation where he has actually checked out, at some point you might need to actually stroke that ego.
Yeah.
Stroke that ego. Stroke it really nice. And yeah, because also remember, it goes back to the kingship. It goes back to us being Africans. As a man, they want to be praised. They want to hear you saying their praise songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Been
I
great.
think you were finishing a point there.
actually.
So I was saying, you give him back his steering wheel. Be open with him to say, I think I've violated certain things, a certain order of nature. I think I haven't allowed you to lead. I think maybe I've crushed you. It's to go back and apologize. Sometimes some men, all they want to hear is a woman that's going to be strong enough, loving enough to say, I've messed up in me being independent, being educated. And maybe I haven't had a good model when it comes to fathers and men. So I haven't been good enough when it comes to trusting a man. So I didn't let go. Some women have built walls to say, I just want to give you a chance to lead and be a man. And that may be the biggest gift you'd give him. And you could find yourself
turn it
connecting
around.
again. Yeah. Yeah.
And at your marriage seminar, a recent one
Yeah.
that I'd been at, you said, what men also need is, let's say somebody disrespects him, we're in public or someone does something, right? It's important as a woman in that moment to say, babe, I saw that and I also didn't like what happened to you. You said it in a much better way. I can't find the words, but like something that men need, and I think I heard that
like
was
I think it's the validation.
The
the
validation.
validation, but like you need to show that you're in his corner. That's how I'm
I think
paraphrasing
also
it.
that's where we speak about being each other's PR.
Yeah.
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 Yes. Being
He
each
needs
other's
to know
PR.
that you're in his
He
corner.
wants to feel.
Especially when it comes to your guys' families. Like
Yeah.
with
Families.
your
yeah.
family, you are his PR. With his family, he's your PR.
So if he feels offended by someone, the first thing, I spoke to another couple, they were squabbling, and then the man was explaining. Then I was like to the woman, okay, you explained yourself. Sometimes trying to be right doesn't work. The first thing, I said, you missed the first thing. The first thing he wanted to hear from you is, I understand you.
Yes.
You were hurt. So the woman went on to defend the opponent. But they've been offended here. But he was trying to make a point, and he wanted his wife to say, I understand, I'm on your side. They violated you. But there's something I want you to mind, this and this. But let's start with first things first. Yeah. The validation. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know which time, but there's something he was speaking about, and something in my mind was like, this whole absent father syndrome
Yeah.
kills a lot of things in one. If I don't know if you understand. Like, as much as we may feel like, you know, it for the girl child, it's very, you know, it brings about a struggle. Also for the boy child as he grows to a man. But now I want to talk about the struggle of the absent father syndrome towards the girl child. She doesn't get to witness a mom or a woman interact with a man.
Yeah.
And she gets to witness this woman doing everything, providing, protecting, you know, and to a point that her mind is concluded. But the thing is, this girl also dreams of herself married. She sees herself in a wedding veil. But now that's where it ends, the wedding veil, because she has never seen the inside of it.
Yeah.
She's looking forward to the wedding veil, but now the inside, it's like, huh? What is this? You know, sikhuluma ngokuncenga manje, we're talking about begging each other and begging the man actually, and you're thinking the woman is like, hey, come on guys,
Like in which world?
Mina, I've seen my mother. I've seen my mother, you know, struggling,
Strong.
going up, down,
Independent.
being strong. Now I'm being told I need to beg a man.
Yeah.
So it becomes a struggle. It becomes a struggle.
And maybe in closure, I know a lot of women are screaming right now, but you know, it's about male needs. I've done everything, but he went on to cheat still, to be irresponsible.
Yeah.
What we are saying here is golden. It's the mantra. It has to happen. That's a need of a man. If you want to be with a man, that's a need. If he has not been reciprocating everything that you're giving, get help.
Get help.
Get help. That's how we could deal with it. So some men, they need help. The problem is a deeper problem.
Yeah. And also, I think what you're saying, don't have excuses for why you didn't give him what you need, what he needs, because he's hurt you or traumas. If you're doing your part, and if he's the person for you, he'll come to the party. But don't have that as an excuse why I didn't give him a tray. It's because he cheats every day or whatever it is, right?
Doesn't deserve it.
It's true. It's true, right? Because we often, and like men will leave us in a desert with no water. And you come from that and then what you do is take from him the things he needs in the relationship, because you're like, when you could pick up your bags or you could go tomorrow to the club or whatever it is and cheat on me. But I think also to the women, you know, we will obviously have an episode on what women want.
Yes.
But we did want to touch on what men want, because often men are overlooked. Let's be honest.
True.
Often men aren't heard.
Yeah, true.
And often men are misunderstood, and often men couldn't articulate what you've shared today. He can take this episode and say, actually, you've been asking me what I want. Here it is, you know? And I personally appreciate that this topic, we went into the depth that we did, because it definitely is going to help not just one, but many people out there. And women, I can go back and say, today I learned 6 things that you need, and I'm going to practice these. Or I learned that actually you might have checked out. So how do I give you that throne immediately back? So that we can get back on track. Again, thank you, power couple.
It's been a blast.
Thank you, the Dlaminis. I think there's so much that our people can take home from today. Like we said, like, subscribe, engage. If you subscribe, you're telling us, it's a sign that you want more, right? That you want us to keep bringing you content that helps you. Love and marriage is complex. Humans are complex. All we're trying to do is help you. So please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one.
What I've learned during therapy is that women of today want to submit. They want to be led. I have a lot of women that come, they complain, he doesn't lead.
Women need love.
We've got a generation of women that want to sit down and budget, and men are running away.
How important is love language?
Includes attention.
I believe Gwanda submits to me because I provide something sensible. I got my money. I'm not looking for money. She's looking for safety.